Hey everybody, hope everybody's staying warm and safe today. Here in Arkansas where I'm at, we got a bunch of snow, and some places down south got sleet and ice, but so far thankfully it's just snow here. But going to do this video for you, and we're going to talk about, with me being a YouTube uh, creator or got a channel, um, I mean, yeah, you can make lots of money off this stuff, and you can get a lot of good things in your life with it. But there's a lot of stuff that some people may not know and understand. So I'm gonna go over some of that stuff with you today. And first off, if you ever decide about maybe becoming a YouTube uh, creator, is what you want to make it over. And this is where this is extremely important. And it's not like down the road you can't change your mind and try something else. But for me, is one of my big passions is drag racing. I know there's other motorsports and people enjoy it and stuff, but drag racing has been in my blood, I think, since I was born. And I get that from my dad. And so why did I um, pick drag racing, or whether I picked it or just picked for me? It's um, just the adrenaline rush and getting to race that car, and whatever car that or truck that is, and getting to work on them during the week and find out if what you did actually worked, and getting to hang out with friends and family that are into it with you is great, because drag racing is like a big family. Sometimes there's people have problems, and other times everybody's people's working together with you, and it's a real good. I like it for you know to be like a family friendly event, to where you can bring your kids and your wife, and kids may be racing, so you might be going with them because they're going to race. But either way, it's thankfully right now, my boy Gavin, he's gotten into it with me as far as the racing, and he's been helping me on the track too. Last year he really stepped up, and he was helping me with the water burnouts, and we ended up later on going to track by it, and he picked up on that super quick, and I owe Gavin a lot of thank yous over that, because he's been a massive help for me. And so when you're picking your niche, whatever you call it, your subject matter, um, there's different ways to look at this. You can pick something you enjoy, like mine's drag racing, but you also have to keep in mind though that the YouTube's, it's pretty much a job. I mean, some people can just set up a camera and that's all they got to do. And then, but if you're doing it like I am, I mean, you're trying to get what people you can, get their cars and trucks on video, because everybody enjoys seeing their vehicles on there. But like when I would like to be working on the car, or trying to plan about how I'm going to make changes for the next round, because we index race. So I'm trying to figure out where do I need to let off at, what should I be launching at. I'm up here shooting video. So you have to keep in mind that, like when I'm doing something like that, and even times when I like to go out to the track and just hang out with my friends, there's times I can't, because I've got to be up there on the line, shooting video and trying to get stuff so that when I do make my video for that week, I've got some content to put on there. And also you have to, like with the drag racing, is we're up there in the near the burnout box, and some of the places you have to get sometimes to get some of these videos can be a little sketchy sometimes, and especially in the tracks where they're just all piled up on the starting line, and all. I don't like being right there just sandwiched in between people, because there has been cars get loose and hit people, and I think that's if there's just you and 3 or 4 other people up there, you can kind of figure out, if something goes crazy, I'm going to have a way out and a way to escape. Well, if you're all packaged in there and that car hits you, I mean, where are you going to go? So that's some of these, videos and stuff, you have to, be cautious and you know, just do the best you can to stay safe. But anyways, I'll get off that. But why did I want to get into YouTube is because I've worked in factories most of my life, and I'm currently working in a factory, and I've got a good job, and I've got good people that I work with now. And my old job, you know, for the most part, I work with good people there too. But anyways, I worked in factories for over 30 years, and I'd just like to have a change. So that's why I thought, well, YouTube's something I think I could do and enjoy. But you also have to keep in mind, I mean, yeah, it can be fun. You can get to, you know, a lot of doors opened up for you. But it is going to be a job, and there's going to be days it's just work. So keep that in mind before you decide, well, I'm going to do YouTube for a career, and then I'll be happy forever. Well, work is work. But, I mean, you do have more control over, you know, how things go. So it's just whatever you want to do. You know, if you want to do it just for a little hobby and, you know, don't get too serious with it, it can be a lot of fun. And it can still be fun, but if you're going to, you know, compete with some of the big dogs in the subject matter that you're after, I mean, they put in a lot of work, and you are too. So just keep that in mind if you decide you ever want to start a YouTube channel. And, you know, if it's, you know, you weigh the pros and cons, and you're at a job you're burned out on, or you just want something new, you know, different, visit places, or, you know, whatever you want to make it. If there's something in your life that you want to change, you know, put in the work and do it. You know, I'm all for dream big. And start this YouTube because, you know, I've been in factories all my life. I'm just wanting to do something different. And two, I want, you know, a better income. You can make a lot of money off YouTube, but it's not as prevalent as you think it is. You've got to put in a lot of work and time. You know, some people do a first video and they hit and it goes viral, which is great. But then after that, you got to figure out, what did you do? How do you replicate that? And just, there's so much to learn. Whenever I first started even thinking about getting into YouTube, I watched video after video trying to learn every bit I can just to get basics down. So then with educating myself, I had to buy some equipment. And mine is, I use either my phone or a GoPro. I bought a GoPro 11 Black, I think, or however you say it. And so that's what I use, my GoPro. And then I bought this is an attachment that goes on my car. So some of the car videos that you get where it's actually going down the drag strip, that's what that's for. And like buying different, I'm starting to experiment with mics and stuff, trying to hope the audio gets better. And I've got a drone I need to get out and start working with it too. But it's just a lot of work and investment and time. But you know, if you're going to do anything, you might as well put in the effort to do the best you can. So that was the big thing, was I was wanting a better income, and eventually I want to get to where I can buy some property and get some shops built and an office and sell merch. And I want to start hiring some people. I've already got at least 4 people picked out that I want to hire, and I can't do that without the money. So I just got to keep chipping away, and you know, hoping pray this thing takes off. And like I said, I just want to, you know, get some employees with this and pick the right people, because I want people that's in it to want it to succeed as bad as I do. Now my dog's barking. Okay, I had to let Abby in here. Show you her. There's my dog. Abby. Abby, look. There's my pooch. Anyways, had to let her in. So if you hear some scuffing around, that's her. And so, like I said, I was wanting to hire family and friends, and that's going to be a, you know, a tough one for me, because I've got to make sure I hire people that wants this to succeed. If all they want is just a paycheck, that's just clearly not going to work, because this, you know, if the channel don't succeed and the businesses and stuff I get off that don't do well, I can't pay people. So it's got to be a group, effort and wanting to build like a race team, I gotta have people that can video and people that can work on the cars and people that can edit and people, just keeping up with like in the office to where, whether it's selling merch or shipping or whatever it is, I just gonna need a good group of people to be there with me and help me through all this. And and if you're gonna do YouTube starting out and you're doing it by yourself, that's a lot of work because you're having to do all the filming, you're having to do all the editing. If you're selling merch, you're doing all that. And plus too, like when you're out at the racetrack, like I have met a few people that recognize who I was, and you need to spend time with the people that's supporting you. So that's taking time too, whether you're just saying hi to somebody or chatting with them a little bit, if they're supporting you, you need to take the time and be courteous to them, and make that, almost like a YouTube family. Make that connection with them. So that's really important. So thank all y'all that do subscribe, and if you would subscribe for me there. And a big thing for me has been from the beginning is making video that's family friendly. As a Christian, I'm wanting to put out videos that the whole family can sit down and watch, and you ain't got to worry about what's going to pop up on there and, people cussing and stuff like that. There's some pieces of video I've had to just cut out because just people cussing up a storm, but I don't want that on my channel. It's not that I'm better than anybody, it's just I want you to be able to sit down with your kids and your wife or your husband or whatever and watch a good clean video and get enjoyment out of it and not worry about what's going to be popping up on that screen or what somebody's going to be saying. So that's my pledge to y'all, is I'm going to try to keep this always to be family friendly, and the money don't matter if the video's garbage. So I'm going to do my best to always make sure you get a good quality video. And so speaking on that, some of my goals for this, which I've mentioned a little bit, is, of course, I've got a spare change. That's my 1992 Ford Mustang, and it does have a 6.0 in it, and Bobby has helped me a ton on that car. He's done a bunch of work for me. He's done a great job. Thank you, Bobby. And so far, the best ET we've had that, we run it in Newport, and we run a 705, and I think that same weekend I run a 706 with it, and that's all motor. That ain't no boost, no nothing, it's just motor. So we are extremely happy with how well that car's been doing. But when I first built that car, I got it because I was wanting to make a small tire car. Well, this was like 3 or 4 years ago. Back then, if you run 6.0, you had a fast small tire car. Man, the 6.0 ain't touching them nowadays. So, I mean, you're going to have be like on an awful track and doing really good if a 6.0 is going to count. But that's just how racing progresses. Because, we started out, 6.0 would have been awesome, which I hadn't hit it yet, but, trying to hit beauty. But, as we built the car, we spent 3 years on this car, because the reason I call it spare change, because it was literally, when I got some extra money, I put it into the car, and, Bobby's helping me so much, and it's just, we was doing the best that we could with what we had, the budget we had, and the car's doing really good, but I can't compete in small tire. So eventually, I have tried to run it like True Street and stuff like that, and now those guys have progressed so much that I can't keep up with them. But that the big thing with this car, with my Mustang, is that I want it to be streetable. I want to be able to drive to the track. I'd love to be able to drive to the track, which I live close to George Ray's, is drive to the track. I want to be able to run in the 6s and drive it back home. And, I want it to be an actual, I wouldn't call it a daily, because that's what I got my little Dodge Dart for. But it's got full interior in it, and it's got, exhaust under it, and it's we could go to a lower gear ratio with it, but I want to keep it to where it's not too bad on driving on streets. So I got 373 gears in it. But what I'm gonna do with that car is, right now I bought a supercharger for it, but I got to get all the suspension stuff for it, because even if I make a ton more power, right now we're kind of on the edge of what the car can handle. So unless we can get to a really good track, but eventually I want to supercharge it, and with the supercharger, you know, it's going to need bigger injectors, it's going to have tuning, and I don't think we'll have to swap out the intake on it, but we'll have to, you know, as things go faster, you just got to keep adding to it. And like I said, the suspension will have to be upgraded. It needs a anti-roll bar really bad right now, and it needs adjustable shocks on it, so that's in the future for it. But, you know, even the daily driver class, good grief, some of them cars are just mean, you know, and that's cars that can make the drive and all that stuff. So it's just, we're just, you know, once the budget allows, we're going to step up the game on spare change and go faster with it. And that leads me to the Cat Eye Chevrolet truck that I bought. And once again, Bobby's done a ton of work for that one. We did just get a fresh motor 5.3 in it, and it did have a 4L60 in it, and that thing was, it was tired. So we upgraded to a good 4L80, and it's got 14 gears in it and a good pausing stuff in it. So that's the truck that Gavin's learning. And if you would kind of help me with the name for it, you know, if you would leave them down there in the comments. But I'm thinking about calling the truck Newbie, just because Gavin's new to racing. And last year, toward the end of the season, he got out there in the truck when it still had the old 5.3 and the lazy 4L60 in it, and Gavin really took to that thing. We was out there on a Friday night, and Gavin was like, "Dad, I want to make a pass in it." You know, and that's something I wasn't pushing him. That was totally up to him, because I wanted, once he got into it with me, if he did, I wanted him to be, you know, that was his decision, and so he'd be more committed to it. And that boy loves racing, bless his heart. I say, get a kid into racing that can't afford drugs. So, we've got Gavin into that, and like I said, he's been helping me at the track a lot, and Gavin's just awesome. That's all there is to it. That boy, he's really doing good. So that's where I want to be with the truck for this coming season. Is Gavin just getting seat time and keep him safe. And I'd like to get him running the 9.0 Index out at George's and other tracks, and just get to where he's very competitive and comfortable in the truck. And then, of course, I got the Mustang, but eventually I'd like to upgrade to a 2-chassis car, something to run small tire with, and just something to get a little ignorant with it and just see how fast we can go. And we may be working with, if the money is there, and we may start working with Bobby some with his car, because his car is coming around now, and that I can't touch him. That Mustang, and this progression that he's making with the Trans Am he's got, that thing's boosted, and it's going to have a Strucker engine in it, and that thing's going to be a salty car. That thing's going to be fast. So we'll see. We'll get video coming up in this coming season of that car, and probably be working with Kyle and Chelsea some, and they've got a couple Trans Ams. People love F-bodies on this channel, so they got a couple Trans Ams that's boosted, and all these boosted F-bodies, my little Mustang just trying to stay in the picture. But we'll get there eventually. But oh yeah, something too, Kyle, some of the video, that short I just put out, I think it was Kyle that gave me that video, and that's something good I like to work with people, is they'll give you some video sometime, then you turn around and give them some. So if you would, go check out Crispy Chicken Racing, and on YouTube, and he's got a black Trans Am, Chelsea's got a silver one, and they're good people. They've done me good, and they got some fast cars, so go check out their channel if you would. And something else is, I want to buy property and have shops, and get an office for like the video editing and stuff like that. And I would really like to have a new truck eventually, and a big trailer to pull the stuff with, and that, you know, that's money. So, but that's just, you spend your money wisely and you earn it the right way, and I think the good Lord bless you with it. So, well, I'll say that. If it's in His will, He'll bless you with it, and hard work, I think, pays off. So, let's, okay, I done mentioned how, I've got some notes right here. I done mentioned I want to hire some family, and I want a driven team, something that, you know, I like how, like Cletus McFarland and his channel, you know, he's got a crew of guys that's just awesome. And most of the guys that are going big on the drag racing scene, they're not doing it by themselves. And then, you know, like how Cletus has got all them guys that helps him. You know, he picked good quality guys, and it shows. And also another channel I like, of course, I like KC Max, and him and Megan, and how they work well together. And he's got other team members. Forgive me, I'm not good with names, but their programs. Ryan's always competitive. I think Ryan could show up small tire event on a lawnmower and be competitive. That dude's so smart and such a good driver. But I really like watching their channels, KC Max. And like I said, eventually I want to sell merchandise. So, you know. Something else too I got here is got a friend, Sarah. She made some a shirt for me, and the front's got like the little checker flag and stuff on it, which I don't know if we'll change that or not, but if I can get it in the camera. Got that right there. And that's something eventually I'd like to get a line of shirts and stuff going. And if that's something y'all be interested, I need to set up like an email list or a website or something. And right now, if you want one, just if people's interested in this stuff, let me know, and I'll get something made up. And if you see me out the track or something, I can sell them to you there. But thank you, Sarah. I like that shirt. But eventually, you know, that's another means of income. You know, this drag racing stuff ain't cheap. So let me. And something else is, you know, with this YouTube, you know, some people think that success is just money. I don't. I think money's important. I think, you know, money's great, but I think you should help people too. And there's a couple people right now for sure that I want to help out. And one thing is my mom and dad. You know, they spent their life, you know, raising us kids, and mom was a stay-at-home mom, dad was a truck driver, and, you know, dad worked hard to keep a roof over our head and keep us fed, and I owe him a lot of, you know, gratitude for that. And mom stayed home with us and, you know, make sure we was raised right, and my folks done a good job with us, I think. And that's something, I've got a couple, I'm not going to say what it is yet, but when the money shows up, there's a couple of surprises I got for them that I want to get for them, and we'll be making video content of it, and I really want to get this done. And then, you know, I've got other friends and family that I'd like to help out and support, and that's something else is, you know, this thing leads to big money and stuff like that. You know, who's your real friends and family, and who's just showing up with a handout wanting money. You know, it's not all about money. And then people that just, they want to use you for what you got, and once they're done with you, it's, you know, they don't need you. That's something that, you know, I believe keeping a small circle of friends and family, because not everybody's your friend. But boy, it's quality over quantity. You get the right friends and family, you know, when life gets rough, you know, if somebody says they love you, there's proof. And I've got some very close friends and family, and I'm a firm believer there's times you need to draw from them, but there's also times that it's time to give back. So that's something that, you know, I think, you know, it's a two-way street. If people's going to help you, the time comes, you know, prove you care about them too. So that's something, you know, especially my mom and dad, for all the stuff they've done for me. And let's see, it would be nice to eventually get some sponsors and stuff. You know, if you're a company that, you know, likes family-friendly content. And, you know, when we're out to races, yes, we're doing our very best to compete, but we also we're going to be good to the fans and be courteous and professional. You know, if you're interested in sponsoring something, holler at me. And then eventually I'd like to, you know, have some guys and gals on our crew that are racing, and we can sponsor their cars. You know, and then I've got one friend, I'm not going to tell you what her name is just yet, but she would like to race, so we'll probably end up getting her. Ain't going to be nothing just crazy fast, but she'll be out there, and she's competitive too, so she'll do a good job. And then I like to work with other YouTubers, you know. Like I said, Ryan and Megan from KC Max, I'd love to work with them. They're, I don't know, I just enjoy watching their videos. And then eventually, yeah, I'd like to work some with Cletus and his group, and then I'd also like to work with 1320 Video. You know, them guys, it's amazing what them guys have done. But, you know, and there's, you know, like I said, Crispy Chicken Racing, my buddy Kyle and Chelsea, you know, I'll be working with them. And then, of course, Bobby's the guy I want to be my head mechanic, because Bobby's done so much, you know, work for me, and Bobby does good quality work. And, you know, Bobby ain't going to put me in something that he wouldn't drive. So that's, you know, I got a lot of respect for Bobby. He's a really good friend. He means a lot to me. And, but then, you know, like I said, I'd like to work with other YouTubers, and maybe somebody I didn't mention. You know, as long as they're, you know, got a good reputation and stuff, and, you know, ain't too crazy, you know, I'd like to work with other people. You know, I believe in succeeding and moving up, but I also believe in you shouldn't move up by yourself. You should, you know, everybody should rise when you rise. Kind of how I see it. And like I said, this ain't just about me. And something else is, I am a Christian. I'm a confessing Christian. You know, Jesus is my Savior, and I ain't going to heaven without Him. So if during this journey, you know, He decides He wants me to make some changes, or I need to say certain things, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to try my best to do it. Because I just believe, you know, I want the world to know that Jesus come to this earth and died for us and rose again and wants to be our Savior. And that's something, I'm not ashamed of that. I'll tell the world that I am a Christian, and I'm not ashamed of it. So you'll be hearing, you know, about my faith and stuff on this channel, but also, you don't have to be a Christian to watch this channel. I want it to be entertaining for everybody. And even if you don't believe, or you believe something different, that don't mean we gotta hate each other. We should be able to get along, you know, and be civil with one another and just have a good time. But like I said, the Christianity is important to me. So just be respectful to me, and I'll be respectful to you. So the last thing I want to talk about here is work and fun. Because, you know, if you pick a subject matter that you want to do, make sure it's something you're going to enjoy for the long haul, because it's very easy to get burned out. So anytime you're doing YouTube video, it does kind of become work, because you've got responsibilities, you know, and that's, if you get real lazy on it, your channel will fall off, and then your income will dry up. So pick something that you enjoy, and it's just, you have to be willing to put in the work, and you have to be willing to put in the time to learn. Like I said, I watch a bunch of YouTube videos trying to learn everything I can, and not everything you're going to listen to is right. So you just got to experiment about what you want your subject matter to be over. And, you know, if you can do a hobby or something where you can hang out with friends, great. And if you want to do a channel, it's just you, that's great. But one of the biggest things, or a couple of the biggest things, is that I've been learning is you have to be consistent. So that's why every Wednesday at 6:30, I'm trying to put out a long form video. I'm doing it today because, you know, everybody's snowed in. I figure the YouTube traffic's going to be real high. Heck, I'll throw my video out there and see what happens. But consistency is very important for the algorithm to pick it up. And just, you know, putting out a good quality video. And I don't get it, but somehow some people can put out stuff and it's rough. I'm not saying mine's the greatest, because it's not. And then for some reason, these things have hit, and I'm happy for them. You know, if they put out a video and it goes viral, good for them. You ain't got to be jealous of somebody because of that. I'd like to know how it happened, but you know, it's not like I'm jealous of them. But I do want to reach that next level and get my subscribers up, my views, and you know, start making some money off of it. But you just got to be willing to put in the work and the time and gain the knowledge. And you know, I've been doing this for 2 years and I'm not monetized, but that's okay. All this time that I've been putting in, I've been learning. And if you're learning, you know, that's successful. And then it's kind of laying the foundation, so when this does take off and a lot of people start noticing my channel, I've got over 200 videos on my channel. People, you know, there's all kinds of content where if I put out the first one and it went viral, what are they going to watch? I've got one video. Then I'm scrambling, trying to get more videos out, and then they're probably going to be, you know, so-so because you're trying so hard and fast to get them out. That way, if you'll take the time, all right, you're learning valuable lessons. Now you've got videos that when people go there, it's kind of like how some people, including myself, will start on a series. Well, if it's already 1 or 2 seasons in, you can binge watch it, and that's what I want you to be able to do on my channel. I've got playlists and stuff. Is now you've got content that people can watch, and that's, you know, really important. But it's just keep in mind that if you do want to be a YouTuber, take the time to educate yourself. It's probably not going to be overnight, and it could be a week, it could be years before you get monetized. But you just got to, you know, just if you need to, if you're a Christian, pray about it, and then just put in the time and just work. Whatever your measure of success is. Do you want to make a ton of money? Okay, it's possible, you know, and just put in the time for it. And if you just want to do it for a hobby, you know, the money's not really that big of a deal, that's fine too. Just customize this to what you want, set your goals, and go after it. So I'm a firm believer, if you're going to dream, dream big. So that's kind of the journey that I'm on right now with this YouTube thing. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. And if you would, subscribe and like. And just y'all be careful and safe out there. And God bless y'all. See y'all later.
Pretty cool little car. Uh-oh. And I think the battery's dead. So.
Well, at least I got it right in front of you.
Yeah. So what did we learn from...
I'm not great at steering.
Well, I ain't either. So you're saying that we're not professional RC drivers?
No.
What about the fun factor on the little car?
That's fun. And you're not getting ran over by the...
Getting ran over?
Yeah.
What? Claiming that I run over them. I don't think I did I? Yeah, I did. I think I did once.
What?
Run over you with the drag car.
Oh, no, I did that.
Oh, Gavin done that. Okay. So I guess, yeah. Got a little road rash on it? Or where got run over rash? Where? Yep. So. There goes spare change. And then, so we definitely conclude that, what, Gavin? What's your conclusion on this race?
That those wires are hot.
Yes. Yes, they will probably be hot. And got mud in it. So, definitely not an off-road vehicle, right? So speed-wise...
This is faster. Acceleration-wise, that one's faster.
Okay.
This one, you gotta slowly start
So
going.
this one right here is awesome for what it's built for, or should be. We don't have a course just yet for it. But as far as drag racing, which is normally what drag racing, which normally what we cover, the Traxxas is definitely faster, and it's supposed to be. And you put these two on a little road course, and the Cleetus car will probably just run away from it because it just handles so much better. And again, it's supposed to. These are apples and oranges. So, but I'd say the purchase of the Cleetus car was a very good one. Wouldn't you, Gavin?
Yeah.
Because he's even got the sunglasses. So anyways, all right. Well, we'll just show you a little video, just out here horsing around or having some fun, and that's it. So I'll get this video put together and get out for you. So y'all have I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and hope you have a Happy New Year. All right, God bless y'all.